Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a quick look here at Atom, and just before we do, we usually look at Bitcoin, but I'm just going to defer to my previous Bitcoin video that I made earlier today. I make one every single day, and the bottom line is that Bitcoin's doing poorly. It's still in a descending formation, and effectively we're expecting the price to come down. Possible head and shoulders in the 4-hour, but nothing much else to report there, except for the fact that it is a bit of a bug right now, right? What else can we do? Just gotta accept that and deal with it, and obviously see why Atom is taking off contrary to that, right? So that is a really good sign, really good, increase you could say here from Atom. So it's good stuff. But prior to that, of course, I want to let you know that I'm not a financial advisor. I love teaching people how to trade, so if you're new to the channel, welcome, of course. I hope you learn a thing or two here today. We've got a trading academy within our website, CryptoCache.tech, that allows for you to become a better trader. So check that out in your own time if you want to join our community, of course. I actually send out signals for every single trade that I take, and we have a private group chat, and it's awesome, amazing experience. We're doing monthly roundtables now, and it's a lot of fun. So check that out again in your own time. Take a look here at Atom. Start with the big picture, of course, as per usual. We always don't look at the 1 day chart if nothing else, right? At the very least, look at the 1 day. We can even peek at the 1 week chart here, kind of see. We're still technically making higher highs and higher lows. Actually, no, higher lows, not higher highs. That does imply that we could reach a shelf eventually, but we'll get there later, right? The 1 week chart, honestly, just gives us good sentiment in the fact that the price is definitely higher than it was before. Most coins are like that, but we are making higher lows in general, and we shouldn't expect for the the price to effectively come too low. So in other words, let's go ahead and move this here a little bit so you understand. Right there, if the price were to come down lower, 25 should effectively be the lowest point. Okay, if it were to retrace, we don't necessarily even know that. In fact, it hit 25 recently, I think just here, perhaps even today or yesterday. So all in all, not bad stuff there in that sense. I don't think we're going to see the price come much lower than 25 based on that trend line, but there's no guarantees, right? Trend lines are trend lines, but overall, the trend is your friend. So kind of just remember that. That being said, it doesn't necessarily mean that Atom is going to shoot to the moon, but it does imply that we're in pretty good shape here, considering Bitcoin has done fairly poor in the last couple of trading days, and Atom is effectively doing the reverse. Now, it makes sense, of course, because it came down pretty far. When you look at this here, TD sequential, we got down to a 7. The reset is pretty much expected in a lot of ways, right? Because you can only go so far in one direction without a turnaround. So just kind of keep that in mind. Oh, and you know what? Before we do that, let's take a look at the moving averages. We're tentatively back up over the 200-day simple moving average, which is great. So if we can close above that today, that'd be a very good sign, very good continuation, or essentially allow for us to understand that could be the new potential support. Again, premature, of course, because we want a couple more days of consolidation above that level, but that's a good starting point. 50-day SMA is traveling ahead or above. We don't need to worry about that. The RSI is under 50 still, so I'd say that's a point of potential, I guess, improvement, or just implying that somewhere around the range of $30/$31.37 would be the new essential resistance level and or zone. So we can expect to get some resistance when the price travels into this area here, okay? So just know we're not in the clear just yet. Nice green day today, awesome, but we could either see a reversal or potential issue in passing that point based on that sentiment there. I'm curious where the volume is adding up here as well. So let's go ahead and scroll in just a little bit to the most recent Fibonacci retracement levels. So this is roughly the last 10 trading days, and we can see the most amount of volume just below the current price point. So a close above that would be awesome, right? So again, that would kind of reaffirm that as a potential support, be a good sign. If we look back a little further, of course, we can see there's a lot more volume accumulation closer to right around $36, $37. So bear that in mind. We're not in the clear as of yet. We still got a lot of resistance, including this first major resistance channel between 30 and 31.37. Okay. So that's kind of just something to pay attention to and look at. So moving on to the 4-hour, let's go ahead and identify. We're up over the 50-day SMA for now. And I say for now, of course, because you've heard me probably say this before if you're familiar with my channel. You don't just take the first break above a simple moving average as foolproof, right? Oh, we're over, we're good, I'm going long. You don't do that. You want to wait for confirmation. And confirmation in most cases is seeing at least 2 or 3 candlesticks close above that specific time frame. Now, this being the time frame of 4 hours, we probably want to wait 8 more hours, at least get 2 more candlesticks to close above that level to get any kind of confirmation that we're actually above that moving average. Okay. So just something to consider. But good news is we got a Fibonacci retracement level here at $28. So if the price were to come down, we could see a bounce off of that. That's potential. So just know that that is an option, right? So that's kind of something there that we could totally understand and try to acknowledge. Moving on to, we got the 4-hour chart here, looking at the RSI. RSI is up over 50, came down to kind of bounce off of 50, and commonly this can be referred to as a support level. So I like to use 50 on the RSI as a good kind of indication of bullish versus bearish. You don't use it on every indicator, or sorry, every time frame, but it's a good indicator of what's going on in that time frame, right? So in the last 4 hours, we can see Bitcoin's broken past a potential resistance. Therefore, the overall sentiment could be more so considered to be bullish, because this will translate into the actual macro time frame, the 1-day chart that we just looked at, right? Again, we get 3, 4, 5 more 4-hour candlesticks closing above 50 in the RSI, and we're probably going to be continuing to trend either sideways or upwards, right? That's kind of what you're going to look for. Now, moving on to the moving average here, MACD, basically the moving average convergence divergence. But we have a convergence, of course, at 5 a.m. here today. So that kind of, obviously, that's a very large candlestick. That would imply that we had a shift in momentum. Okay. So again, for the most part, we are mostly bullish on the 4-hour chart. So Adam looks very good. Now, moving on to the 1 hour, let's go ahead and quickly identify where we're at on the cloud. And this could be a little messy if you're new to the channel, but generally the common rule of thumb is that the conversion line has to be above the baseline, right? Which it is. The price action is above the cloud, and lagging span is free and clear of any price action. So we're good to go for at least 10 to 12 hours worth of continuation of the upside. Now, I'm not necessarily telling you that you take a position now and the price will continue to increase. I'm telling you if you have a position open already, you may want to let it ride and get a little bit more out of it, right? Again, scalp trade, perhaps this is a good indication that you want to consider doing that as well. But generally speaking, when you have 3 out of 3 indications on the Ichimoku Cloud giving you a buy signal, or just more so importantly, not telling you to close your current position, that's a good indication there to kind of do whatever applies to your scenario, right? So just something to consider. That is a very good sign on the short term there. That implies that we have likely continuation of the upside. The one thing you want to be mindful of here, though, is it does look like it's getting a little extended. Okay, good. We got a reset. That being said, when we see this sharp increase right here, we had just hit a 1 or 2 before that. So when it came up, that was the 3rd candlestick, and we got a reset here. In other words, what that means is that we have roughly about 5 hours worth of consolidation above this major resistance level, and it's now considered a support. So that does kind of reaffirm $28 as a potential support, so that might be a good consideration for a stop loss. And of course, if you're going to take a trade to the upside, you could have some more room for growth based on the fact that we're still, we got enough time to kind of calm down, relax, and get the next leg up, right? There's potential for that. But just know there is, again, a resistance channel here between 30 and 31.50. So if you were to take a position, just know taking a position into a resistance sometimes isn't always the best call until you actually break that resistance and establish it as a support. So some things to consider, of course. So I'm not telling you to go long right now, but if you were to, you'd probably have a better chance at the price going up than down at this exact moment. Again, pending Bitcoin doesn't do something stupid and drop to 33,000 soon, which is in the cards, by the way. So watch my other Bitcoin videos so you understand what I mean by that. But we should see 35.5 in the relative near future from Bitcoin. It's shaping up to do something along those lines if we don't have a head and shoulders in the 4-hour chart come to fruition here soon. So something to think about, but just throwing it out there. Again, there's no guarantees in this game here. It's literally a game in a lot of ways. Not gambling, of course, because if you were to analyze each time frame, like I mentioned here, right? You extract different data and understand, generally speaking, that we have good macro data, we have good midterm data, and the short term here looks like it wants to continue. All those things combined tell us that Adam will likely probably keep moving up in the relative near future, and perhaps even in the long term as well, right? It's hit its bottom. It's bouncing off that tentative support right around, if I recall correctly, $25. And in this case, right now, we are looking pretty decent. Okay, so all in all, I'd say I'm more so bullish on Adam than I am on anything else at this moment, because it's definitely looking like it wants to break. But just know it did get rejected right now here as well at a major resistance level from previous. So before 29.50 roughly had rejected the price action, it just did that now. Okay, so again, I recommend waiting for the 1-day candlestick to close, getting some confirmation, getting a little bit more time for this to mature before you just jump right in. If you were to jump in, consider having a tighter stop loss, maybe at least $28 as a relative stop, or if you're going to consider shorting, that would maybe be a good profit target. Definitely some different ways you can go here, but a lot of this hangs in the balance of Bitcoin, because even though Adam's broken free of Bitcoin in the most recent past, it's still very much reliant on Bitcoin's success. And we got to acknowledge Bitcoin's still on a downward progression or trajectory. It's still continuing down. And at this point, there's no guarantees it's going to come up. So long positions, I would say, are to be used sparingly for the most part, unless there's, definitive proof. And this is giving us pretty good proof that it wants to continue. So again, let that be your judge, I guess. Hope you understand what I'm getting at here, and I do hope you might have found benefit from this, of course. If so, comment below. If not, it's okay too. Go ahead and join my community if you'd like, CryptoCache.tech. Check that out. My trading academy is live. So you can check out all those videos, of course, that I have made over the past couple months to help you become a better trader. Pretty much just explaining every step of the way how to get where you need to go. It gives you the foundation and the skill sets to improve and obviously build on that, right? Because we all have our own risk tolerance. You got to develop that yourself. But for the most part, there's a lot of really simple stuff that people overlook, and I think I fill in those gaps very nice. On top of that, of course, you get a signal group, and of course, you get to chat with me and a bunch of other awesome traders too. So it's a really cool experience. Check it out in your own time. Thanks so much for your time. We'll see you next one. Take care.